Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Good.
Technology at its best, huh?
Wow, amazing. Hi, David. Good to hear you.
Yeah, good to see you, Karsten, as well. Karsten is an IDMarkz beta tester, as a product that is actually still in beta for Markzware, a new product be coming out soon. But before we jump into that, Karsten, maybe you can tell the viewers a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, sure. So let's say, the connection with Markzware is a long-term one. So it's like 20 years or something like this that I'm distributing Markzware products. And I still do. I'm very happy to do so. And I have a background in the graphic industry, so I worked as a typographer and did all kind of graphic works, but quickly moved into software support and software distribution, and something which I'm still doing, now enhanced with database programming. So I'm a FileMaker programmer, and this is an important part of my work. So what I do is making solutions for customers, and a lot of my work is aimed at image manipulation or image data, metadata, and everything which is loosely connected to the graphic industry, and help people just get their jobs done.
Excellent,
And
excellent.
the Markzware products are just products which are easy, very well focused, and these are the kind of products I prefer because it's very clear what they do, and they do it very well.
Yeah. Yeah, well said. That's what people like about Markzware over the years, for sure. Yeah, we're very excited about this product, and what I'm going to do now is throw it back over to Karsten. And my first question to you, Karsten, is what's your first impression of using IDMarkz?
Oh, amazing. It's the next big thing. It's very easy.
Yeah.
And I think, because I'm not in a daily production environment. So as a distributor, I'm more focused on serving people with solutions as actually using them. But I worked over time with, I think, at least 8 or 9 totally different desktop publishing software solutions, so on all kind of platforms, and that's a lot. And it's not just InDesign, it's not just Express. There are a range of other programs I've been using, and I switched lately from Adobe products entirely to Affinity products
Wow.
for my workflows, which is very I don't use it very much. So the subscription model simply didn't work for much. I have a few documents to make per year, and it doesn't make any sense to have a subscription. But what I see happening, and I see people frustrated because they were kind of locked in now, obviously, in Adobe products, as they in earlier days were locked into the dongle modes of Quark Express.
Yeah.
And all these specific file formats, and people are fed up with these closed systems.
Yeah.
And what IDMarkz now does is to open up this world to a range of possibilities. So you have an InDesign product, you have an InDesign document, and you can just open it even if you do not have a current InDesign subscription. I think that will answer a lot of questions for a lot of people. And because it's quite reliable, as far as I tested it so far, there are obviously some things it will not be able to do. So you always have to think a conversion is the best thing possible. And it's very sophisticated already, but there always are differences between the platforms. So people will have to carefully make a check on the document once it's converted and say, is everything the way I want it? I probably want to add some guides or something like this in the layout. I want to add some styles or whatever. And you can do that. But a lot of things are truly taken apart properly from the document and putting together anew by IDMarkz. And that's fantastic.
Right, right. And, Affinity is working on an IDML importer to publisher. And Quark already has one. Quark Express already has an IDML importer.
Yep.
So this can just fit right into workflows where people are either dabbling or switching over to other DTP applications.
Switching over, and also probably just working with several solutions next to each other.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how today's publishing environments work. So the idea is just Adobe is strange as there is just Microsoft, for example, for Office programs. It's simply not true.
Yeah.
So people are, I think, opening up towards other options.
Okay, can you hear me, Karsten?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, we're having some, I don't know if it's iShowU Studio or Catalina issues, but something just sometimes, or the AirPod things. But okay, so we got cut off. But you were just saying a studio or a school well, you can say it.
Yeah, it's like an art school in Switzerland, but I don't know which one. So it's like I don't know. I don't know if it's true, but I think so. So that people are considering moving away to new systems, just because it's too expensive or it's just too much. And Affinity, for example, is showing that there is an alternative which has no subscriptions, which can be paid, and that is truly attractive. Now, it's by far not the only system. I've been working and still work as well with like Viva Design.
Mm-hmm.
So Viva Designer is also a great solution in certain respects for certain tasks. It's a professional solution. I work with Calamus, with iCalamus, all kind of solutions. And all these software solutions have a proper fan club, and they work well. And I work very well with InDesign. So I like InDesign a lot. It's simply that their system does not support my way of working. Yep. Because I have only a few documents per year. And for a lot of other people, it's like they don't want subscriptions.
Yeah. A lot of people in Germany or the DACH, countries are very anti-subscription.
Yeah. So it basically, it's a great solution Adobe is offering because you get a lot of value. If you truly work with it day and night, you have a great value at a great price, and they support all these things. So there's no question about it. It's great software, no question about it. But for a lot of people, they say, I have a simple thing to do. I don't need any change. But this model of subscription just locks you out of even using a document once you decide to stop the subscription. And this is a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Because it's not really that expensive.
It's something people do not like.
It's just a pain in the neck, I think, for a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. No problem. We'll cut that out. No, but I love InDesign. But I have to admit, I tried Affinity on a couple personal projects, and I found it very intuitive, and I really liked it. I could flow with it actually easier than InDesign, even though I use InDesign every day for hours every day. It's kind of strange. Interesting.
Yeah. So it's an interesting thing, and because I've been selling Markzware products for so long, so I know people are moving between worlds.
Right.
Because you continue to sell.
One second. Microphone device changed. What the heck?
Existing products have been updated. This is something new, and I think it will be a game changer for the publishing industry. So I'm very happy to talk about it, and thank you for inviting me. What I like most about IDMarkz, well, it's very simple. It's the simplicity of the solution. It's really like taking an InDesign document, drag and drop it on the icon of the software, or open it through the menu just as any other document can be opened. And that's it. And then you can simply say in what kind of document you want to export it. So the simplicity of this solution, while offering a real solution to an everyday problem, is great. So IDMarkz, its simplicity, and of course the versatility of being able to export it to other formats in a very easy way. That's great. What I like about IDMarkz as well is that it creates a preview. So you don't have InDesign. You have no preview of the document. So you have a number of documents, and you can simply open them in IDMarkz, and IDMarkz generates a preview. So it checks on the fonts, checks on the images, gives a list of how many pages or text blocks or anything else is available in the document, and you can actually flip through the pages. So that's really, really helpful, because you can immediately see if the document is okay, change anything, if there are no fonts or fonts are missing or anything else, you can install the fonts or work with look for images which are not there. So it's like a simple visual pre-flighting, I'd say today. That's really helpful. Then also you can automate IDMarkz. So you can, let's say, generate a standard output and say, okay, whenever you drag and drop a document on it, do this. And that's really helpful. So IDMarkz, in its simplicity, in its well-focused design, I think will be easily integrated just by anyone and offer the opportunity to get out of the deadlock of Adobe subscriptions into something else. That's one option. The second option is that you have very old documents, you would like to open or create a PDF from, for example. So if you have to an old document, say, okay, I don't have to change anything, you can simply drag and drop it on IDMarkz and say, okay, I want a PDF as an output. So that's also very helpful. Then you can go and think about, I have a customer who works with InDesign. I don't have InDesign, so I can interpret the document and output it to any other publishing solution which is on the market today, basically, and then create that. So also if you have Viva Design, you can output an IDML file from an InDesign document and then import that in Viva Designer. So that's a really great task which the software solves magnificently. So it's a fabulous software for that kind of tasks. The biggest benefit I see from IDMarkz is that it gives the people, the designers, the publishing houses, the freedom to get out of the padlock situation with Adobe, because Adobe does the same, pretty much the same what Express did or Quark did in the past, locking people. For Quark, you had the dongle system, in place at the time, and Adobe is now locking everyone out. So even I had a valid license for Adobe product, and it was revoked by Adobe. They simply turned it off, and I couldn't get my license back. So it was not a regular license; it was a special license, but nevertheless, it was a valid license. And Adobe is doing this, so they're really pissing off people, and it's not something which many people I know even want to get into. So that's a really bad situation, and they don't want it. So IDMarkz, the biggest benefit is to give people back their freedom.